Good evening. This is Hannah Klein. Welcome to my podcast, Hannah Klein's Time. Before starting my podcast, I would like to ask you to rate my podcast on Apple Podcast or Spotify or the platform that you use, or just, simply follow my podcast. And also, I would like to set free subscription of my blog page. So I hope that you subscribe my free email. Free newsletters. Um, but anyway, I have been doing that. I I have to do that in the future. But anyway, I am. I have to tell people, well, like you, that I am going to have a guest. So on 23rd, I would like to invite, I'm inviting, I have to say, um, Rabbi Menachem Levine. I'm sorry if I'm, well, I have to apologize if I'm wrong. But the reason why I invited him, well, I talked with him and he told me that he is fine to talk about his family roots and what happened to him, his ancestors. Um, but, um, it's about Holocaust, and people would say, like, what is the point of doing this, over and over? But actually, I have spoken with junior high level kids. They have no idea Anna Frank is. They have no idea. They haven't even heard of a word Holocaust. I'm I'm very shocked. Well, this program is not for children. Well, people under 18, to be honest. But I guess that parents need to face the reality of how much the education is not educating children at school. And it is not about just Holocaust, but I am just, it's a part, it should be a part of ethic, ethics education, in my opinion, not just in social science. Well, but it has been ignored. And at the same time, um, a lot of, um, a lot of, a lot of, I have to say, a lot of, um, yes, teachers teach just the words, use a very subjective term, I have to say, and teach history. This is a very, very problematic reality, and I am very shocked. This matters not just because of the Holocaust, but it matters to the Japanese. I have to be talking. Well, I'm not mixing up the Holocaust and the case of Japan, but okay, I will be talking about the case of Japan because that is what happened to my grandparents and my uncles. Well, and my deceased aunt. Well, she passed away by the end of the war. But after the war, okay, it was after, it was almost after the war. Soviet Union, Soviet Russia broke the treaty, and they they invaded the Japanese territories. And what happened was that a lot of Japanese, including civilians, were deported to the areas of Soviet Union as a whole. It's not just Russian, the current Russia, but a lot of places. Um, yeah, well, it's a traumatic experience, and when I see the newspaper and and if I see the newspaper and uh, see the criticisms of what happened to the Japanese, it's not enough for me. And in a sense, I want to just look away because uh, it just it's just too much to think. Maybe those who do not have um, such family members who experienced this um, harsh experience, I have to say, uh, would like to talk about it. And well, I have to go back to the Holocaust survivors. A lot of Holocaust survivors uh, um, do not want, well, I have to say that a lot of Holocaust survivors' descendants do not want to talk about their harsh experience of the ancestors. And that's the reality. And so I appreciate Rabbi Levine accepting talking about his family roots. It's very, very important. And um, I hope that people do not humiliate him. And this is very subjective. I do understand. But at the same time, who can be that much objective about the matter? Okay? The newspaper companies, I don't know what they're thinking. Well, it depends on, which companies, I have to say. But Sankei, for example, wrote a lot of cases of what happened to the soldiers who were deported to the Soviet Union. In my words, it was not different from the current North Korea style of executions. What they do towards the detainees. Well, in a sense, North Korea is horrific, and there are those who suffer just so terribly in North Korea. And I do not understand those people who want to go skiing in North Korea because of the snow. It's crazy. I hope the Japanese never go there, but they do. And Um, what just disgusts me is that, well, yeah, when I read the articles of like the newspapers, it's just too much. I had to cancel subscriptions of the newspapers because I did not want to see um, the news of um, the what happened to the Japanese after uh, Soviet Union invaded the Japanese territory, including Manchuria. Yeah, it was horrible. A lot of people were killed. Not just tortured. A lot of people were killed. Um, I, 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 I try to speak in a sense that try to speak in a sense that I tried to I tried not I tried to approach I have spoken with Russians about this, but in a sense I think that they have to understand what they have done. Yeah, that's what I think. And they think that they are a victorious country, and they have taken the islands legally because they have the victorious country. I mean, and they call Japan the former colonialists, but they are the new generation of colonialists, to be honest. Um, and I was listening to Douglas Murray's interview. I don't want to talk about who was interviewing him because I hate him so much. He talks Russian talking points actually. He's supportive of Ukraine, but he talks Russian talking points. Listening to typical um well like yeah, I will talk about this later. But I have to say this. I really have to say this. But people may feel uncomfortable because people may like him. He has interviewed Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Um, I don't know. I don't exactly like him. So that's a personal opinion. So other people might like him. But anyway, Douglas Murray was talking about Ukrainians being very much like wanting to take back the territory. I mean, that's understandable in a sense. Like we're screaming about Korea Islands um, being a part of Japan. I will just go back to the story, but it is legally a part of Japan. I mean, if we say international law does not exist, we can claim, even though it's whatever, owned by, occupied. I have to say, really, occupied by this North Korean like regime, whatever. Which killed Navalny. Yeah, Navalny was killed, and um, uh, well, it's a joke. Uh, I hope that this war leads to I have to talk about Ukraine a little, but I just have to say that this war has to end in a way. I'm not sure how, and I do not believe that Japan has much right to say about how the war should end. And what I am saying is is that well, after 2022, it's obvious that Japan has national security crisis, but who did not prepare anything? By the way, I mean, we have to think about this too. Well, Prime Minister Abe wanted to militarize Japan, but we had other problems. Um, but his idea was not wrong about how Japan should be ultimately, and uh, the defense expenditure against GDP has to go up just so rapidly now. And deterrence, okay, Colonel Ransomere told me deterrence is just a word. It's true, okay? We do not want to talk about, we do not want to hear, I do not want to hear um, the, the geopolitics specialists saying, well, there will be something happening around this Japan Sea, whatever. In the next 5 years, ha ha ha. Well, it's not exactly laughing about it, but it sounds like, these people are expecting it. And that is something which matters because it is a terrible fact if that ever happens to the Japanese people. It is really terrible. And yeah, it's just terrible. I have to say. But I have to say, I do not know how the war in Ukraine ends, really, honestly. And I really did not want to hear on social media the criticisms against Navalny. I felt so terrible and bitterness because he was in a condition of not being able to see because his nutrition condition was terrible. His teeth was coming off. And we saw this terrible photo of him. Just one photo was released. And it's not something to show off how strong Russia is. And when the war in Ukraine started, the first thing I saw was Navalny would be the one to be killed first, for sure. As the opposition, I have to say, who advocate for democracy. He is a very, very important target for Putin. And I don't understand why the Japanese government does not even say a word for him. It's very mysterious to me. And I do not understand Prime Minister Kishida's mindset. And, well, he's not an aggressor. I just feel I'm so disgusted at how he was called. He was, okay, I have seen some TV programs of what he was saying, like cockroaches, blah, 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 all those things. why can't these people, well, why do not they have the mindset of forgiveness in the first place towards Navalny? I'm just, it was, well, well, I reached a conclusion in a sense that I cannot tolerate anymore all these things. All these like reasonings or whatever, I just do not want to hear. And there has to be a reality. And um, I'm not saying that his posts on X, Twitter, was made by him, created by him. I'm not sure who made it. I'm not sure if it's his words or not, but there is a reality here on how he would be treated. If people cannot think, well, it's a little bit crazy, I would call, or lack of imagination on what would happen to him, or maybe lack of knowledge of the history, the reality of what would happen to him. And what happened to him was terrible. But I'm not sure, well, ultimately, I'm not sure whether he was killed or he died under a natural condition, because considering his age, it is likely to happen. And well, it is likely to happen to a male who is about 40, well, like late 40 to 50 years old, like under certain conditions like him. So then I would not have to blame Putin. Well, I would blame Putin for jailing him, and he started to talk about Putin finally after he died. and I just hear some words saying, well, I don't know what it means, but well, whatever. I just felt terrible. I feel terrible what's going on in Ukraine too. In a different sense. I don't know what Ukrainians think, or I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, Navalny was a very interesting person to me. But unfortunately, Russian is not my first language, so I do not speak Russian language. But Navalny, by the way, he was Ukrainian too. His great grandfather was Ukrainian. I call this war a tragedy because of, well, like for example, look at, well, Navalny. His great grandfather is Ukrainian. He has a far relative in Ukraine. She was killed in the war by the Russians. So who do you call Russians, or who do you call Ukrainians? And I'm sorry to say this, but Russians need to understand who's killing them. Okay? And at the same time, this is a very, very difficult thing about what's going to happen. Well, how the the end of the war will come finally. And I'm not sure if it's the way Ukrainian people expect, or but it's actually the same situation in a way, because Ukrainians, Russian army Russia annexed Crimea in 2014. So, I mean, it's legal. Well, it's an illegal occupation, but at what level we can apply international law, and at what level we can uh, we can do something with the international law. It's just I just do not understand why Putin decided to start February as 2022. I mean, it sounds a little unplanned, terrible. What happened? But anyway, I'm not sure how the war is going to end. But I hope that the war ends in a way. Well, I'm not sure it's something that people want 100%, but it's life. It's really Japan cannot realistically take back the northern part of Japan. Well, that's something that we learned in 2022. And at the same time, now we have some kind of crisis. There is some Iran-like country in this East Asia, and we have a problem. And this Iran-like country called CCP, China, is buying a lot of oil from Iran, and China has a lot of coals, but they don't have oil, so they have to depend on oil in in Iran mainly. Well, and they have to depend on Iran. Yeah, ultimately. So China is one of the countries that has funded October 7th, and they are saying, well, Israel has to stop all these atrocities, all these because they want to have their opportunities at the same time. It's a very, very dangerous and frail situation for Japan, because Japan has its interest in this, the same region. And so it's a very, very complicated situation that we have. But I still have to say that those who do not feel sorry for Navalny, I'm sorry. These people do not understand humanity. These people do not understand what they're saying. It's cruel, and I'm disgusted disgusted. Period. I just do not have to say anymore. It's just, it was enough that I I saw what was written against me on social media. I had to, okay, I made sure if he, well, if he was not involved in neo-Nazi meeting, for sure. Well, he was not involved in neo-Nazi meeting, and he was not a member of neo-Nazi. Except, well, he was not a member of neo-Nazi, of course. I mean, all these allegations against him while he was tortured by Putin. I mean, who is pleased? Yeah, Putin is pleased because Putin wants to torture Navalny, and all these people are torturing Navalny. How pleasant he is. So I'm just tired of hearing all these Russian talking points. One thing, Russian talking points. I saw a lot of propaganda by these Russians. I was told. They wrote to me and sent me photos of the atomic bombing. You guys, Japanese, they mean Japanese. Do you not, realize what America did? Then what did Soviet Russia did, huh? Huh? My grandparents lived in Manchuria. They did vulgar, the most vulgar things that ever happened on the planet. Okay? And they're fine. It's just, okay. It was so disgusting. It was so terrible. I just do not want to see even on newspaper. And I'm sorry for the victims, of course, but I just do not even want to read on the newspaper because I just was so disgusted when I saw what was written. But in a while, I decided to read back the old articles that was written. But I do read information about, of course, not just online, but I would read about what happened. And of course, my grandmother would tell me about what happened. And my uncles, my uncle, my eldest uncle especially, remember what happened. Well, he has so much trauma. And I just do not want to say how much trauma he has. So anyway, anti-Semitism. Okay. It's not like the Holocaust. The Holocaust was a very much genocidal act. They looked for the genes and they searched how to eliminate the Jews. Dr. Anat Wilf was saying clean clean out the Jews. Which is just eliminate the entire Jews and define Jews. It's terrible. I just do not understand those people who are, the Japanese, who are so indifferent to what happened, and those people who do not have understandings toward the Holocaust, the anti-Semitism, even as like not even though they do not have the vocabulary. But one time I heard a person say, "I hate Jews." Just one expression. I could not forgive this person. I could not, never, and that was it. So, I mean, people need to understand the words matter. And I just feel some insensitivity towards, I have to say, discrimination, even though Japan that has to honor equal rights and democracy. So, and even today, even to this day, anti-Semitism exists, sadly. Well, I'm not sure how many people know about pogrom. That was horrible, horrific. Soviet Union. So, well, I will be asking on 23rd to Rabbi about the anti-Semitism before October 7th, because I have seen some people writing about it. I will not say who, but the person said this is a very, very alarming level. And I was interested in why he was saying it and why he was writing about it. Because, well, I do understand that there has been anti-Semitism, but now, after looking at October 7th, I started to think that it's something that has slowly transformed into a large movement. I mean, it is not something that started out on October 7th against Israel. It's a total anti-Semitism, and I'm just appalled at the Japanese media calling that these claims of anti-Semitism by Israel is total false narrative. And they are denying the whole thing. And what they report, for example, today, is that they openly write the Hamas number of casualties. They write 50,000. The Telegraph wrote an article saying that Hamas actually dropped the number of civilian casualties. And they said 70% were combatants, which means that, and IDF reports that they killed 20,000 Hamas members, well, and other Islamists. I mean, the number does not add up, because the entire number of dead people are 28,500. Oh, this is briefly, but I don't understand where this 50,000 come from, but the United Nations using it. And I don't understand why the Japanese government or the Japanese media are not strongly condemning the lies that Hamas are making. I mean, they're not talking about this at all. They don't care. And what they do is, well, talking about Israeli democracy, blah, blah, blah. I don't know, ultimately, okay? I'm not into Israeli politics and what Israelis should do, all these things. But the reports on competence is totally wrong. And at the same time, the Japanese media, like NHK, the state sponsored media, they are on the side of Qatar. Qatar said, well, Qatari deputy foreign minister posted, we are all Hamas. It's crazy. And the music festival in the United States, well, there was a caption said, fuck, well, I should not say it. F Israel. Free Palestine. I mean, free Palestine is not about free Palestine at all. Because they are in support of Hamas. And I just have to say that all the media, basically in Japan, are supporting Hamas and UNRWA. UNRWA is Hamas. Hamas is UNRWA. Okay, I keep saying this all the time, and this is crazy. I'm fine. Okay, I don't care. After October 7th, I decided I don't care if I'm called crazy or not or whatever. Hamas is UNRWA. And this has to change. But anyway, I just will end my podcast. I finally said some words about what I think of Navalny. Well, people would say he is just one person. He had the privilege of making film, all these privileged life, but he gave up life for a people. That's true. So I just hope that people think about this, including the Japanese who don't care. Anyway, I hope that, well, I talked about, I have to say, lastly, I talked about those who were deported to Soviet Union. When I think about this, what they were done, what Navalny was done by the government was the same thing. I mean, basically, what we see is that the government itself has not changed, and they do this against its own people. So anyway, well, I don't know what Putin is about, and I don't know what will happen. Well, I will say, also, I will have to say this as well. I do not basically fall into any propaganda made by Russian. For example, one big example is this atomic bomb thing. Okay, what is good about Soviet Russia then? There was no good about Soviet Russia. I am not saying that every Russian people are bad people. every Russian person, I have to say, are bad people. But I basically am disgusted at what happened in Ukraine, and I'm not surprised at all because of what happened in Manchuria. Um, oh, that's what I have to say, and um, I don't know how this war ends. I don't want to actually think about this, and but I I will just clearly say that Putin does not have intentions of returning the two islands to Japan, for sure. And I guess that this is a very, very hard fact. And I'm not saying this in favor of Putin or Lavrov or whoever, but I guess that Japanese government will have to face the reality and also do not cut off the diplomatic relationship with Russia, in a sense. I mean, even though the Japanese government is sanctioned right now. But anyway, I hope that you have a good day or a good night. Um, I had a lot to say, and I'm not sure this could make people very feel confused. But I hope that you have a good day, and I hope that you had a nice Passover, Easter. Um, I I I truly hope so. And anyway, good night.